You know, perhaps I've been too harsh on this. The show is not even that bad. Oh, come on! Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, your favorite astronaut Valterim here, and welcome back to another video about the comic rewrite. Nope, sorry. It's not your. Nope, not that either. RTNR, for those who don't know, this is a fan comic of MLP mixing some elements about Doctor Who. This is part 4 of said comic, so I recommend you to watch the previous part if you didn't already. By the time that I'm releasing this video, I might have created a playlist with all the parts, so go check it out on the channel. Maybe you can even find something more interesting in there. You already know the drill, and I even went to my way to create an image to remember you this. Subscribe if you want to see more of me, like if this type of content is your thing, and comment anything down there if you will. It may not look like it, but I love reading all of your comments on my videos. Again, all the credits for the comic goes to Geshiboka and DeviantArt, and without any further ado, let's go to the comic. Gosh, feels like the last time I've said this was last year. Here's a little reveal. After the happenings on the ending of the show, the bunnies got the idea of going to the future to make a surprise for Twilight on her 1000th birthday. So they come with Doctor Who's, a character from the actual show meant to represent the Doctor from the series Doctor Who, to help them out with it. When they come to that future, Twilight is a dictator, Equestria and Pennyville are in deep chaos, and there's a resistance for this. The group gets separated and half are being prisoners on Twilight's castle and the other half are on the resistance trying to understand all of what happened to come to this. The part where we stopped is both parties figuring out what happened, and that is a prophecy said that Twilight won't outlive her friends. There are more details than that, so don't come thinking that you know everything by just what I said here and now. Go check the other videos and then come back to this one for a more complete context of the point where we are now. The ponies are shocked by this affirmation, questioning who is the pony that prophesized that, but Spike explains that no one knows who it was. Only that they have a peach fur and has a historic of all their prophecies being true. At the time, at least in this timeline, all of them tried to come up with a plan to avoid Twilight's death, but couldn't come with any ideas. But however, the prophecy never came to pass. Even when the last one of them drew their last breath, Twilight lived on, but she was a different pony since then. Became a flawless empress, but also a merciless iron mare with cold heart. But she just snapped to the point where she is now about 7 years ago, when she came back from the Crimson Changeling War. The war was over, but the damage was massive. The empress became paranoid of Crimson Changelings infiltrating their society, so she promoted a hunt against anyone accused of being one to throw them in jail. But so many ponies were taken away that it came to a point that they started to get executed without any hesitation. Alright, so now we have dictatorship, war, and plenty of spy activities after war, probably a case of PTSD from war, political propaganda against a group, active pursuit of a group, and I think that there will be more until the end of this series. Mind you, this is inspired by a kid's show about magical horses. It really puts you to think how one can even come with such adult and complex themes basing themselves on an innocent media made for kids aged 6 to 13. Getting to the guys in prison, Harity comments on how the prophecy shouldn't be valid at that point, since they all died long ago. And Hooves explains that yes, the prophecy was invalid, but since they are there now, the conversation is cut short by the guard returning, saying that the Empress wishes to see them. Cutting to Spike, he says that as Twilight became a tyrant, the prophecy was forgotten, but now that they are there, the pony is linked to her death right in the middle of a rebellion, and now everyone is counting on them to somehow kill the Empress. Pinky is desolated by the fact that they need them to kill Twilight, but it's the truth they have to face. She denies doing such thing to one of her friends, and Applejack even tries to say that, damn, she bought into the idea quite quickly. But Pinky dismisses it, saying that the idea is horrible, and they are basing themselves on a prophecy that no one knows if it's true or not even considering to find another alternative. But Lily jumps into the conversation saying that they thought of other plans, waited for her to get reasonable again, but in return, they got holy shit! Alright, 3 more things to add up to the list. Conspiracy against government, political assassination, genocide. At this point I feel like I'm reading the criminal records of Israel. Spike Black shuts her down while Rainbow and Apple comment on how she has a point and that they need to stop the Empress at any cost, leaving Pinky in shambles as she runs out of there. Apple goes to talk to her, and as Spike comments on how she reacted worse than he expected, Rainbow just says that this is expected, since she just wanted to throw a birthday party for Twilight. Expose is just a character development saying that Gold Lily lost her sister for Twilight, but soon enough the other pony that I forgot the name of returns with some news from the searching party. They found nothing, so it's assumed that they were taken by the Empress, and that makes things way more complicated, for her will never let them leave the castle. Speaking of the castle, the ponies and there are finally presented to the Empress, and one can only imagine what being faced to face with Adolf Hitler's pony Sona here would feel like. The Empress finds herself amazed by the sight of her friends in their young years, asking herself if this was part of the prophet's prediction all along. She even comments on how the last time she saw Harity, she was an ugly old mule, but now she appears to her as a beautiful young man. Fluttershy asks if this is really Twilight, which the Empress confirms, as she demands her guards to release them, apologizing for how they have been treated. The Empress soon enough calls for two maidens, asking them to get the ponies to her spa, and then to the dining room right after. And as they go to their way, the Empress says before leaving that this only applies to the Pegasus and the Unicorn. The other two must get back to their cell, that being Dr. Hooves and Roseluck, by the way. But as soon as they are being surrounded by the guards, Fluttershy jumps in, telling for them to wait, and asking if they could come with them, for they are the ones that reunite them with each other. The Empress is impressed by such statement, reversing her orders to bring them alongside with her friends, saying that they have way too much to discuss, as she walks away. And in here, bullshit. That was barely 3 pages long of script. Consider yourselves lucky, my viewers, we are getting 2 chapters straight. Time skip to after the spa treatment is done, the ponies find themselves talking about their new vest and how good the experience was. And soon enough, the Empress shows up telling everyone to have a sit, for she told her chef to prepare his very best dishes for them. As the food is brought, and the mood couldn't be worse, the Empress notices, asking what is the reason for everyone to seem so down. And Harity tells about the rumors they have been heard before coming there, something amongst the lines of her going postal and slaughtering ponies for no reason. The Empress obviously says that this is a lie, and she is doing her very best to govern her pathetic idiot, Very good ruler, see. The Crimson Changelings are hiding in Equestria and are a threat to her people, but she doesn't have a clear way of annihilating them, and in a situation like that, her hands are tied. I know she said who's cause it's in universe, but give me a break. Fluttershy even asks about the innocent ponies who died because of this, but she just says that the needs of many outweighs the needs of the few. Yeah, right. She talks about how they saw the difference between out there and in here, and proclaims creating order to protect ponies from the Crimson Changelings. But there are some who don't appreciate her work, and are actively trying to dispose of her, by fulfilling the prophecy about her, saying that the resistance will want to gather all of them and end their lives in order to end her own. And that's why they should stay with her, not only for her protection, but for all Equestria. Harity even says how they came there only to celebrate her 1000th birthday, but she seems to want them there forever, and the Empress doesn't deny it. Fluttershy and Harity tells her that they came from the past, and if they stay there, her past self will be lonely. After a Twitter-level scarecrow argument, Harity insists once more, but the Empress declines it, saying that the moment they leave, her own life will forfeit. And how are you so sure about it again? She even tries to guilt trip Fluttershy into staying. Holy shit! Harity says that that's enough, questioning what even happened to her to change so much. The Empress even asks what she means by that. What is so different from her to the past? And who steps out to answer it? Perhaps it has something to do with the fact that she never served drug food for her friends, living leaving everyone in shock, which she says that they would have been better if they just have eaten it. Summoning one of our meta wolves, I think this is their names, I forgot, and installing the chaos in the dining room. Harity asks the Empress if she wants to kill them, but the Empress denies it, saying that she could die too if she did that, and she can't risk it, but she will put them in eternal stasis. They won't die, just gonna be frozen forever. That'll make them much easier to manage. Fluttershy even tries to cry for some sympathy, but the Empress is ruthless and says that times change. She also tells her to stop with all that sentimentality of hers, calling it disgusting. And Fluttershy, enraged, got up to throw hands at the Empress. Like this would work. She just brushes it off, asking for her guards if they brought the besties with them. She's not sure about Apple and Pinky, but Rainbow Dash must be there, since she received a report of a sonic rainbow. Harity tries to babble something, but it's immediately cut by the Empress demanding the guards to take the ones they already have in the underground preservation room, as well as sending the Iron Wolves. I was almost right on my guess back then, to track and retrieve the rest of the keys, for they must be still alive out there, after getting everyone in neck cuffs? I mean, those are even cuffs? Anyway, after getting everyone in cuffs, the Empress sentences Fluttershy for injuring her face, telling the wolf to cat her. Wrong pronoun, it was the guard behind them that received the sentence. The Empress still says that a soldier who can't even follow a simple order must be punished, saying that this only happened because of Fluttershy, leaving the entire room in shock and making Fluttershy faint. While we see this image of Fluttershy on the ground, we can see quite a few things. Harity getting panicked to reach Fluttershy as the Empress orders her soldiers to move them, and who's asking what is the method that she will be using to preserve them, as the Empress says that they will find out soon. Ending here this chapter. Oh boy, would you look at that? So far the best chapter to bring here, and I can only wait the next will be as good as such. Things are starting to escalate and I like it. Again, one can only imagine what happens in the heads of the people who are responsible for this type of thing. The way people on the internet can come with the most absolute dark themes to mix with a kids show is truly phenomenal. Not always good, but a phenomenon nonetheless. But unfortunately, this is something that I'm deeply interested in, not something that I rebook feel being extremely gross. And it's not incest as well. So this video is probably not going so well according to my expectations. If this upsets you as much as it does to me, try to reverse it. Like it to show to more people, subscribe to receive more content from me, and comment to help with the engagement. But for now, I must go. I have a dictatorship to bring to the ground. See you later, Space Wanderer.